Week 3.
Hello.
Hi. Have we got a spy in our midst, or are we okay, Martina?
No, you're right.
Okay, week 3. Lots of interesting events been set up. People have a little bit more understanding around their brand. That's always good, helping you close
Yeah,
that
that's
gap.
always good, and it will be evolving throughout your journey as well, obviously. But yeah.
So this week we are talking about a little bit about how to be a director, you really need to be acting, or a leader, really need to be acting like a leader right now, today. So start today how you want to be when you're superstar director, star director, wherever it is you're aiming for. We would like you to start today acting like one. Okay, so team culture doesn't happen overnight. And you may think, if you've only got a team of one, how can I have a culture with just me and one other? But if you start now, I promise you, by the time you get to a team of 600, 1,000, 2,000, it will have evolved into something like magnificent, you know? So start today looking at where you would like to take your team. When me and Martina started out, we had tumbleweed for a really long time, didn't we? Like, we'd put stuff out, we'd put trainings out, and it would be like silencio, like nobody would join in. But it evolves, and you have to consistently do it again and again. It's the same with the building the business. It's the same with your sales. It's consistent. What you're consistent at will evolve and grow, you know. And it's the same with your team page as well.
Another thing is, try to think like you've got a team of 1,000 already.
Yeah.
And think about all those things you will be able to do when you have a huge team, and do just those things, because if you have a team of 1, 2, 3 people, it's super easy to do while recognizing them, for example, and congratulating them, and sending them gifts and stuff. It's super easy to do it huge. But once your team will be growing, it won't be sustainable. You won't be able to keep doing the same thing. So try to think of something you want to do for those people. Same with training and everything. The way how you will be doing trainings and how you will communicate with these people. If you will have a Facebook group, or if you a little spy here.
Oh, it's just
If you will just communicate with them on a messenger, or you will be doing regular Zooms, whatever you want to do, but so that you can actually do it when you have a huge team as well.
Yeah. And that's it. So you can do like extravagant gifts and stuff like that when it's 1 or 2 people, but you don't want to be doing those extravagant gifts when it's 1,000, because that's going to cost you a bomb. And the people, if you can't do it, then the people are getting something when they're a group of 2 that they're not getting when they're a group of 1,000. So it's not fair. You want to do something that's going to be easy for you to maintain, and it's going to stand out to them as well. So, and do you know what? A lot of the time, that's just shouting someone out. A lot of the time, I'll send them a quick message saying, "You've done really well this month. I see you." And that's a lot of the time. I think with people, they just want to be seen and appreciated. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy. It could be a postcard. It could be a bag of lollies. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything fandangled. It really doesn't. And like I said, most of the time, people just want to say, want to hear, "I see you. You're doing amazing. You're doing a great job. Keep on doing what you're doing," you know?
Try to think of a system which will be doable no matter what size of
So that being
your group.
said, we would like you to create a team space if you haven't got one already. So that can be a Facebook group like Skies, it could be a WhatsApp group, it could be a messenger group. We don't care. However you want to do it.
And also, it doesn't mean that once you create something now, it can be changed for something else in the future. That's not what we are trying to say.
No.
We have changed ours as well. Like we had we had a we had a group for those people who are not long enough with us. We had a team page separate. Yep. I had a team page and Carly had a team page. And then we just realized that we are kind of doing the same things. And for newbies who are in both groups, they just see everything twice, and it's just not enough.
Serious mom.
So we merged. So we did a big change as well. So yeah, in saying that, it doesn't mean that whatever you create now it's undoable and you just can't change it. You can change it how often you want, really. But try to think in advance a little bit and think about, yeah.
Yeah. So create a little team space, however you want to do it. Also think about what you want to recognise and when. So what is it that you want to recognise? Is it you want to recognise when someone's active? Do you want to recognise when they hit 500 PRV? Do you want to recognise when you absolutely want to recognise when they promote and all that sort of stuff. But what else? If someone's giving of their time for others, do you want to recognise that, you know? So have a little think about how you want to recognise and when you're going to recognise as well. So we're not going to give you all the answers to that. Go out into the world, go onto your workstation, go onto YouTube, go onto Skies and find out what you should be recognising, you know. You as a leader need to go and catch your own fish, you know, and find out like how you're going to run your business, because this is your team and it's going to have you're really setting the tone, setting the culture for your future team, you know. So go out and find out what you need to recognise and how you're going to do that. Also as well, coaching. Me and Martina offer coaching calls each month as people are progressing. And I'm not saying that you should be offering coaching calls to everybody. We don't. We offer coaching calls to people that are wanting to grow their business. And if you've only got one other team member, you're probably constantly coaching each other backwards and forwards, you know. So it might not be that you need to have a set time where you do coaching calls. But think about that. Like when your team is like 50 or 60 or 100 or 1,000, how are you going to recognise who to coach? How are you going to recognise who, like all your up and coming leaders that maybe need help, you know? Obviously, there's always going to be Skies to back you up and give you training and help and stuff like that. But these are things that we want you to start thinking about right now at the beginning so that you don't get overwhelmed with it when it's too late, you know? So, yeah, have a think. Set up your team space, have a think about what you're going to recognise and start sharing that with us, because we can direct you and say, yeah, you're absolutely on the right track, maybe do this or try this. And also we would like you to write a team mission statement, okay? So this is we're dreaming again. This is you envisaging what your team will look like in the future when you close that gap and get to the gap that you've set. What's your team going to look like? What's your mission statement? What's the vibe going to be? How's it going to be? Like, what's your culture going to look like? And we want you to share that with us, please. What would be really cool is if you thought of a name. That would be really cool. That just popped into my head. If you thought of a name, what would you call your team? Like we're called the Sky's the Limit. What was I originally called? Universal All Stars. What was you originally called? It was shooting stars?
Whizzing Comets.
Whizzing Comets. I knew it was something to do with stars. Whizzing Comets. So again, what would your team name be? You put that on the top of your mission statement. So yeah, and
you can call your team like that already. It will not be official yet. Officially, you will be able to get a team name once you hit director.
Yeah.
And you will have to go through a process where they will look it up if there is no other team name already like that, blah, blah, blah. But you can call your team somehow already, and it's definitely a good thing to do. And people will feel more like they belong somewhere.
Absolutely. So that's it, guys. We want you to think about how you set up your team space, mission statement, and have a think and share about how you're going to start recognising your team members and how you're going to start developing them and all that sort of stuff. Anything that
and a good idea also is, because your teams are not huge yet at the moment, so involve your teamies into that as well.
Yeah.
Ask them what they would like to see from you as a leader on a regular basis, how they would like to communicate. Involve them in the looking up the name and trying to figure out how you could be called as well, and they will feel important, they will feel involved, and that's all what the culture is about.
Yeah, definitely. Okay guys, that's it. Week 3 done and dusted. We look forward, so we're really looking forward to reading your mission statements, and we will see you all next week.
All right,
bye.
Bye.